Tuesday. What's going on, people? Great to see everybody. And let's get to the business. 2-week free trial, guys. The Black Friday thing is about to run out, so this is the last week to take advantage of that. All right, get your 2-week free trial. Send your TradingView username to HPC at SR-analyst. Go through the software I will show you today, and then the Black Friday special on the Harmonic Trader site. All you need is the code HPC30. You get 30% off on the software. This is the one time we do it. It expires this week. It's the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever. Who wants a 30-day package? HPC30 will get somebody a 30-day trial. Please, if you have not won yet, you're eligible. If you have won, what are you waiting for? Use the code HPC30. Get the Black Friday special. Okay? Get with that. Great to see everybody. What's going on, folks? Let's get to the Harmonic pattern information for the day, the updates. What are we doing? Markets getting ready for Santa Claus rally. In my opinion, HPC 30 goes to Raphael. Although I know you won before, man, but last time, okay? And you got to take advantage of the HPC 30. Hey, Suzanne, Susanako, let's give you one too, okay? So we give two away right off the bat. Raphael and Susanako. You guys hit me up over on the Discord, okay? Email me or send me a DM there. All right. Everything else starts at harmonictrader.com as a basic member right there. Let me show you really quick the Discord. Log in. Anybody else that wants that link or you got questions, hit that link and then access our basic chat. Let me show you what not to do or when you enter, just to be aware of, because there's people, I don't get it, but there's still people like this guy. He will be banned. Say goodbye, Axel. Asking if anybody wants to follow his mirroring day trading service. That's not what we do here. Everything that we have here is free. Take advantage of it. Do not give anybody any money. I don't solicit. Let's say goodbye to him. Okay, and let's report. And it's spam, and then I'll block him. But that's what you do. Yeah, block him. I'll block him off of the and done. Say goodbye. Okay, but that's what you do if you get harassed like that. Everyone else, just HPC 30. Get the code. It's for the TradingView. It's for all of them. Okay, and I'll even put that link for the TradingView product in the chat. Get it now. Great to see you guys. It's in the chat. And all the other ones, the MetaTrader, Ninja, Sierra Charts, eSignal, you can try all those for free as well. Let's get into the TradingView platform. Talk about the markets where we go in. I'm thinking up. Continue up. Making progress here. And let me get our super charts. So TradingView's got all the bells and whistles. Also, guys, last chance to get the pattern profiler, which is the new indicator. Okay, so if you're purchasing that, invite only, it's going to be, you got to purchase it, not lease. Pattern profiler right there. Oh, did he get that in? Oh, check this out. All right, so you guys know I'm always working on this. So the dot retest trade I've been talking about, he already got that in there. That's going to come too. So you guys know it's the updates and upgrades. Most of what we've done has been for free. The pattern profiler will be an add-on, but that dot retest you see, that's a tester. I can't believe he got it up. I hope to share that with you come January, but that's going to back test and do the exact confirmation on especially 5-minute RTH signals. We had one this morning, and let me just go over that. It's working really well. It's working really well. We had this morning, okay, and it was a little sell-off in the morning. The dot trigger was there at about 9:45. Not official till the bar completes the next test. Okay, we're use the open of that bar, which is 13. We give it 10 extra. So 13 to 03, and the low was 99.75, and then we've been off to the races the rest of the day. But it's been a really effective, not specifically regular trading hours, 5-minute NASDAQ. The strategy itself you can use on any time frame. It's just working really well, quantifiable on this 5 minute. So I hope to do that more, and that will be the first dot strategy that we back test and then we can bring into it. Of course, with the patterns, that's really what we want, but it's working on its own. So a lot to get to today. I think for the week, what we're begging to do is a looping retest on Nasdaq, 25,843, currently 700, no biggie. And I say this continues to go higher until we get another overbought signal. So drifting higher. Think about Santa Claus rally, incredible. If that's supposed to happen in like 2 weeks, we should be putting in some important continuation signals. And I want to highlight what just happened. Okay, right as we were coming on air today, hourly time frame for Nasdaq now has perfect HSI checking back at 590. I think that was 580 at the low, 582.50. And then now with the dot on the hourly. So that hourly is setting up where this is a big potential continuation into what should be the Santa Claus rally in the next 10 sessions. And then where do we go? Back up to retest. I think the big patterns from here. Okay, the big patterns that we had. Oh, come on. I thought it was RTH, ETH. Yeah, we had patterns up here. Come on. So this deep crab that set off the November retracement, that's all it is. Targets as high as 26,147. Pretty fair target, by year end. End of the month into early January, you're back above 26,150. If not, maybe January target 26,679. But off of the 1 hour time frame, I really want to be watching this. And especially because that's a regular trading hours signal. So we do patterns. We also do a lot of confirmation. And the confirmation dot, I think, has been a godsend for, really confirming structures and defining continuation, especially in trends. So a lot going on there. Be aware. We're making very good progress here. Doesn't look like a lot, but this is setting up. We triggered some stuff literally 15 minutes ago. 25 minutes ago. So great to see everybody. What's going on? Appreciate you, Doc. Glad to have you here. Suzanne, just DM me. The people that won the software, DM me, okay? Everyone else, great to see you. E-Funk, what's up? Wayne, Lock Dog, Cactus, everyone else. Let's get to it. That's the deal with NASDAQ, and we're still floating higher. S&P futures, much the same. Okay. I thought this was pretty telling here of the last month, 6 weeks, defined by a couple of patterns up top. Butterfly, this kind of larger retest. Back up here like 69.10-ish. And take a look at what S&P just did a couple hours ago. Yesterday actually triggered that 1 hour continuation time frame. So, looking for this thing to drift higher. Will there be a Santa Claus rally? Most likely. Where is it going to happen? Well, probably mostly tech, specifically semiconductors. You guys know that that's been kind of the area I've been focusing the most on. Semiconductors, and then lining up stuff for next year too. But SOX index here, 7380-ish. I just don't have a problem with it. In fact, scraping, ready to go to all-time new highs. Nothing really there, and you gotta look at it like this. All right, the whole SOX assumption is we are in a, I would say, probably one of the greatest super cycles in semis that we've seen. Probably the best one since .com Y2K build out. And if that's any kind of parallel, well, you just keep riding that trend channel higher into next year. Not a heck of a lot to even, be too concerned about, because we're looking for this on the monthly as the longer term play. Again, be clear. How many of your markets look like this that you can go back 5 years, 10 years, and you're just firmly in a channel? That's where you want to be. So SOX at the top end of this channel, no doubt. Trying to put in a counter, put in this bearish HSI on the monthly, but we know that that's, that still goes higher to the end of the month, and a check back and whatever. I mean, a lot has to happen before that even we can consider that turning bearish. So just amazing year, amazing recovery, for SOX, which is a double off the low. And we want to keep buying the retracements every time. Yeah, I mean, there's not a heck of a lot yet. We haven't had a decent retrace, a continuation since June, but go to the 4-hour time frame. Probably the best at this point, because we're 6,500, perfect type 2, all of that. Right now, we're a little overbought. I mean, we're scraping resistance, but I'm not. 6 months, you buy it. I'll tell you what else you buy, guys. Silver and gold are just nonstop. Again, we want to focus on patterns and levels and markets that are trending aggressively, and just ride that direction. SLV here, 54 bucks now. I mean, last time we were talking about that was here at like 44. And I'm still of the opinion that what's going on is it's a much larger monthly dynamic. I mean, kind of absolutely breaking out of the historic all-time highs here, which was like 40, was that 48-ish? This is pure price discovery, guys. Don't you wish crypto looked like this? 70 bucks, $71, something like that. That's our immediate target. And we can throw the spread of numbers. I mean, I'm looking at how aggressive this move is on silver, especially the way that it just disregarded that 886. I mean, it just blew through it. That's usually the first sign that this thing wants more. So if that is 1618 at 7150 with a 1902 overspill, you're talking SLV somewhere 70 something, 73, 75 to 82, not 54. And we want markets breaking out like that. They're going to continue into 2026. GLD's the same way, but I think, percentage-wise, silver's probably got the move. GLD at 405 is the big 3618, and I would say that's where you go. This is, we could say it's a parabolic move. I mean, by definition, it is. But it's got to scrape 3618. That's above 400. And it just keep rolling. Look, here's the thing, and I want to get in front of this, okay? If we're going to have a crazy explosion move, and people are talking about silver to 100 and gold to 10,000, institutional, big money people, all right? So it is real, okay? And I'm in touch with some folks that I know that are in various spots in various industries. And fortunate to have a lot of friends in those kind of places that are it's common knowledge in the industry that the silver it's a new dynamic, it's a new massive cycle, and they're planning for much higher prices. So silver, gold, again, how to play it, 4 hour time frame is going to be your friend, and just jump on. Wait for a dot, something like this. Our last dot on GLD was 374, went to 386. You're a little overbought at the moment. Let's get another retrace and go again. But look how many opportunities we've had just in the last 4 months. One and two. There's a third one, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like nine opportunities to be buying on a retrace as it goes higher. I mean, this was 300 in August and almost hit. I have to strat pressing here. Solar ETF. I like solar. Okay, and we've got this daily dot. So first one we've seen since August. Arrow dot here. We had a diamond with some dots back here. So June and August, and now let's go again. Late November, early December. The TAN ETF. One or two others that are like, things that I brought up recently that I think you should consider. Here is Toast. I know I mentioned this, a couple of patterns down here starting to turn around. I'm watching it right at 34.60. Okay, it's getting close. Getting close. Let it have a little bit more development, but, on the daily, this thing continues to trek higher. I know doesn't seem like it's going crazy, but that's some really nice development. Keep grinding higher with that. And then you've got the quantum stocks, which, if you're not looking at them, you need to. Okay, Qubits, D-Wave. We've got some sharks at a high level. Now trying to put in an HSI, so I'm going to watch that. But IONQ, D-Wave, and Rigetti. Some shark patterns here. I say this stuff still goes higher. Still goes higher. If you're not in it, wait for the 4-hour pullback. We'll get another opportunity. I mean, this stuff is trending, and this stuff has got news breaking on it like every week. The quantum thing, guys, is the next wave. That's going to be next decade thing. Like 2030 is going to be, decade of quantum. This will be a decade of AI. Last decade was cloud. You get the picture here. But that's where it's going. That's why we want to be fully monitoring these and then look at the trend. This trend has been an amazing mover all year, but this is progress. And I know it had this recent 50% retracement, but every time we're hitting the trend line, we're making progress higher. That's what we want. Look, trending, we can look back on it. It is higher than it was 12, 18 months ago, 24 months ago. And if this is on a kind of a new cycle dynamic, oh, heck, let's just put the regression channel. This is the kind of thing of where we want to be looking at these patterns on a retrace as this larger trend develops. Exemplifies what I've been talking about versus other situations. There's nice patterns happening. I'll show you one of them. Target. Great pattern, guys. It's going to take time to really develop out of here. And so, I'm watching it. There's the daily. The weekly's got all of these structures, $90, $100, couple of things here. But what's the last 2 years, 3 years? It's a downtrend. That's the difference. Okay, be aware of that. Maybe if this turned around and we had some consolidation and started to form some higher lows on a daily chart, I'd start to look at it. But this, it's a ways. It's a big difference in the two. Oh no. Hold on. Hold on. I'm yelling too. It must have just went down. Hold it, guys. Thank you for at least letting me know. I'm kind of riffing here. Here comes volume right now. Ready? All right. That was it. I don't know what happened there. Okay, I won't yell as much. We want trending stocks. We want trending stocks. Volume should be up. Give me an okay in the chat, please. A couple of others. Look, those are the big ones. We're looking at things also, the big ones like Meta, okay, because they're coming off of a pattern recently at 600. And maybe this is just a reaction. But these are the kind of patterns we want. Meta, Oracle, Microsoft. Again, we can go back a couple of years. We are in a trending asset, retracement pattern, continuation, retracement pattern, continuation. These are the best situational patterns. These are the best entries to ride that trend higher. The other one is Oracle. Oracle had some recent patterns at 190, 200. You got some dots. All right, and just getting set up, retracement, getting ready to go again. There's several of these. Several of these. What was the other one? Did I show you guys D-Wave, qubits? That was the other quantum. So making progress, still in the channel. Maybe we take more time. Let's watch what happens with HSI today, tomorrow. Okay, but again, massive progress 2025. And we were looking at D-Wave here and Rigetti at areas like there and there. And I remember we really were digging in April down here. And this is just another opportunity up here. So be aware of that. Okay. Oh, the other one was QUBT, quantum computing. Yeah, quantum computing. This might even be better because it just came off of the recent daily test. And then I think something on the 4-hour. Man, oh man. I hold on one second. If that's the case, if it is him, bro, you got to stop doing that every time. I'm going to have to take you off. Don't want to take you off. Now I have to. Thank you. You're gone. Okay, couple more. Quantum. What about energy? What about energy? Well, energy select. I mean, they're not all winners. If you want to, probably the best idea in energy, period, is going to be refiners long term. Now, last time we had an opportunity on Valero was like 180. Or sorry, was 108. All the way down here, a couple of patterns, 109, 102. That was back in April. Like everything else, now we're scraping this 186 hop level that, I mean, it's amazing how that comes in. A perfect, what we call that looping retest comes down, and then, yeah, this is still a relevant pattern where 186.14 was tested and rejected. The high, 185.62. 186.14 versus 185.62. Okay. But that's still a retest of that zone. You would fat finger long above 186, 187. I mean, it's just, you're looking at a longer term, monthly, weekly continuation in Valero. And this is just another one. I really want you guys to do a primary filter Because the goal of what we're doing and want to accomplish between now and the next, I would say 18 months, maybe 24 months, is we want to be getting into positions that go. They continue. They don't look back. They don't have 886 resets. They retrace, they continue, they retrace a little bit, they continue. There's a whole bunch of these. Here's one, guys, Urban Outfitters. This thing is scratching all-time new highs recently. I've talked about this a couple months ago. Check out what we did. Look at the bat pattern. Okay, yellow dot, purple diamond, you know, there's like a Lucky Charms setup at 61 bucks. Now 76. Is this going to come back for a type 2? I don't know. There's no confirmation here. But this is the kind of stock we want to look for, buy on the retrace, and then write it. Yeah, we did look at gold. CRBL. Is that Cracker Barrel? Come on, really? Cracker Barrel? CRBL. Cracker Barrel. I don't think that's the right one. Hold on. CBRL. All right, I don't know what the heck's going on. Yeah, see, we don't want this. Okay, and I know, I really want to highlight, emphasize the importance of where the pattern completes. It's important. Okay, before all the shenanigans with Cracker Barrel, what was here? I mean, just define it. Okay, it was, by definition, type 2. It was a retest of the bat, the type 2 bat, and it was a type 2 crab. That's what set it off. I don't care about woke branding or everything. I care about the fact that T2 yellow dots send it to target 2. This one went all the way. Now where you are, yeah, you're sitting on a bat hop level. Hop means harmonic optimal price. But what does even that have? All of this consolidation gave you just a bearish HSI down. That's like, no thank you. No thank you. Not at all. I mean, maybe you could have looked at it there with the dot, but there's really nothing to send that out of the zone. And then if you look at, you can just, you get the pattern, you get the dot. And I guess the last thing that I'm looking at and kind of highlight that for people is, tell me about amplified RSI. It's here where it completes with the dot, but where's this? It's trending lower. It's not above. That's signs of weakness. All right, if you didn't know, it's kind of the breakdown, but even from a simpler level, just when you see a stock performance that's like this going back 2 years, you know, I'm not going to say ignore it, but I'm just saying you have very low potential to see a major move off of something like that that's scraping new lows. It's not worth it. I want trending situations. I want patterns that are in the bottom of that channel. A couple more. Well, Tesla's really interesting, guys. Tesla, we have patterns up here. 457 is the bat on the daily. The weekly, 444, is a type 2 crab. All right, so it's been tough. Like, where to get into? Like, the first entry was for us was all the way back here on this retest. Target 2 at 250 was it. But now we're back here. Are we going to blow this out? I would watch it. It's not absolute yet. I would say this week, next week, let's see what happens. I do think Tesla makes a run at some point early 2026. You find yourself at 536. But the last opportunity really was the 4 hour, and it still wasn't great. I'm I would have preferred if we had hit 373 and then done the return. So Tesla, I love it. Longer term, still looking for that where I'm looking for 550 easily next year, but the long-term numbers of like 800 will come after we get through this 450 level. Above 450, I think it's like a whole new ball game for Tesla. One or two more things that are interesting immediately. We've talked about Rumble here, okay, and it's a little more development than others. I mean, this thing is kind of retesting, retracing lows, but this has got a number of patterns, and we've made progress after the last few retests. So Rumble, RUM, that's the 4 hour. Where's the weekly? The weekly is that. No, it's a daily pattern on this one. Sorry. The daily's like this. Okay, big bat pattern down here. But this one has more development. There's the low 2 years ago. Secondary low. Is this a tertiary third low trying to get above it? $7 for us has always been the key. Okay, so if you're looking for something that maybe is a low floater, not really. I mean, this is developed. I can go back 2 years. I can draw some kind of uptrend where we've had a few successively higher lows, which is important. And the pattern itself says we're going to go back, retest 1075. Actually, that's a type 2. So I would say 13. That's one. Couple others. I talked about this last time, and I like it again. This is Soundhound. This is one we were back here earlier in the year, and now we have another opportunity here right at 11 bucks. But this is another one, and this is probably setting up for next year where we're in here. We want to buy it off this support and then look for Santa Claus rally and then look for this thing to do a continuation where we go all-time new highs. And the longer-term trend finally develops where you're going full price discovery. That's what you want to see. And then again, what are the last 2 years on a daily or weekly time frame? Can we draw an uptrend? Sure can. And we're buying it on the weekly retrace. Want to be specific about all of this, guys, because this is how we're going to capture the bigger movers, the ones that are primed to go price discovery. And when they do, even if they retrace 30%, 40%, they are maintain a much higher level progress where you're not paying for, double time like crypto. That's the thing. Spotify, I'm seeing it's up 20 today. It has this weekly. I'm watching it because here we are, another one, massive trender. We have a weekly dot from 10 days ago. So I'm looking in this area. I mean, this is another kind of weekly retrace on Spotify. Is this trend going to continue? It's a $120 billion company. Come on, go be a $200 billion. Something like that would be crazy in this crazy environment. So that's the weekly. All of those levels are down there like 580-ish. And then look what's going on the daily here. Only harmonic patterns are going to show us this, folks. So I really like this one because yesterday was kind of retest check back day of the dot. This is ideal type 2 behavior. And we're looking for 690, currently 592. Somebody's got to remind me to bring this one up every session for the next couple of weeks because this is ideal. And also, you know how I break through this with pattern, confirmation, and then I say, well, you got to look for the 50 level on amplified. You want that RSI to get acceleration. Bingo. Today, you're in business right there. Okay? That's how we do it. Keep going. Yeah, we can get to that. What do I think about tan? Tan? I like tan. I told you we covered tan about 15 minutes ago. I like tan. I like the solar. I like energy. I mean, there's other ones. There's select energy that are interesting. I think there's speculative silver miners that we probably, I'm doing a lot of research on Canadian, American silver miners, uranium miners. All of that's coming into play. I mean, my favorite one in that is UEC. And yeah, and this one had retest dot down here at 10. This is another one that I think is, going to see great follow through in the next year. There it is. It's the weekly. And amazing that had a beautiful weekly shark at the low back in March. But this fully developed, starting to kind of make saucer separation, if you will, from any resistance. And I think this thing goes higher. Easily go back, retest the highs. That's UEC, and then CCJ, Cameco, that's already run. But again, look at this is why we really focus in on trending situations. Look, the last weekly confirmation was back in February, but that was at the low end of that trend channel. And a couple down here, so we stay with that. A lot to get to. I mean, there's a number of opportunities that are out there that are ideal, trending, moving. And Caterpillar is another one. Okay. Really just want to continue riding that. It's a $280 billion company. All right, we put in a dot yesterday. Maybe a little overbought, but the last couple of dots. And this is the next one, next daily dot I'm on it. And this just back in 3 weeks ago, 550 went to 600. Or back here in August, or back here, and what was that, May? You get the picture. We got plenty of opportunities. What I think, just kind of to highlight the process, is line them up. That's what we're doing here. Let's be patient, and then when we get these triggers, these daily dots to register, 4-hour patterns, that's when we go and ride this trend higher. I mean, it's that one and Caterpillar, guys, Walmart. Walmart, this just continues. Little overbought at the moment, no doubt, and I think we could get maybe a pullback to like 108, 107, but you just keep going again. Walmart, there's no reason why Walmart should not be at least a $1 trillion company, if not $2 trillion company, based on their size, how they dominate. All right. And then the other one, these are really boring names, but guys, these are the winners. IBM. Not IBM, but IBM. You want to get on these, and then we want to ride them because they're going to continue into next year and not look back. We can't say that about crypto. IBM doesn't have a dot. Let's see if we could check it back at like 292. Hey, Riesli Casaro, you got to DM me on the Discord, okay? If you have purchased the program, he's asking, he bought the program a year ago. Can he get the profiler? Yes. Okay, but you have to email me your TradingView username and your email address, please. This is the last call, the last call for that profiler. And while we're doing that, so anybody that's interested, the Discord link has just been put into the chat. And then the next person that types in HPC 30 will give away one more 30-day package to the software that has everything. Okay, and get over here. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Remember, especially for the stragglers that have come in last week for the Black Friday Cyber Monday special, HPC 30 is the code that gets you 30% off. It's just once a year that we do this. And you can get 30% off all the platforms. All right, and if you want to try them all for free, Ninja, MetaTrader, Sierra Charts, eSignal, they're there for free. Okay? It shouldn't be January 1st. It should be December 15th. Anyway, that's the deal. You got it. Okay, hey, well done. Mr. Snell Sat 14, you won the 30-day package. So you got to DM me in the Discord. TradingView username and email address, please. And full name too. That helps. Everyone else, if you just want the 2-week trial, get it now. If you get it now, we'll still do the discount by the end of your trial, but you have to have the trial, and we know who has the trial. Okay, well, let's jump over to non-trending assets like crypto. Maybe Bitcoin's the only one that's still trending, folks. It's, is this a nothing burger? Now we're up here at 94,000. Well done. That's great. I'm happy for it. What are we doing? We're retesting a couple of back-to-back dots, but it's more about the 4-hour time frame. Remember this? So what happened since last week? We had a dot confirmation, send it back up into the zone, and I said we could go as high as 95. But the weekly, daily, weekly, those are the levels I'm really monitoring here. I have to got to admit that the prior weekly retest of that dot and at 83K, okay, you're now week 3 into it, trying to make progress. But we've seen that before, guys. And I'm still of the opinion that the monthly candle and how we react off of the 50 level, all right? So I'm watching this amplified, literally right here on the 50. A little bit of a bounce. It's a monthly chart. As far as I'm concerned, cracking the 50 was the starting point for the breakdown. And now the only thing I'm really interested in to know when this larger breakdown will occur is if we get something like that. And so we break this low point on amplified, which is under 46. That's where the larger acceleration should occur. Nothing else changed. HSI still trending lower. Okay, and we got 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks. Look, if Bitcoin was really going to bounce hard, we'd be over 100K already. You think about that. Stay on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, our last pattern signals here, bearish, bullish currently. That's why the bounce. But this is the zone, and I'm sticking with that. I'm not, guys. I'm not really of the opinion where, yeah, we could say maybe it's at the lower end of the trend channel, but it cracked some long-term levels for me, that warning signs, flags. And then if we really break down, because everyone else will be looking at weekly, monthly trend and price action. Like, you fail these lows, you fail 81, okay, down in here, then yeah, you really break the structure. I mean, I would think you could even say you've already broken structure. Maybe it's a quick heady bounce and then back down. But for me, with the weekly and monthly cracking, we got to really watch this. And last ditch levels, obviously, again, are 81, 82, And then I still like the eventual retest, and I'm going to stick with it. Okay. At least tap target 2 off the shark. I don't think that's crazy. And then we know, depending, here we go with the data feeds again. But remember, we've got some bullish patterns back here. It's still begging to get retested at 76. Just pure harmonics, guys. Okay, I'm not going on anything else. I'm saying, where are the patterns? Where's the confirmation? What likely would need to be retested? Even if I was still bullish, which I'm not, but what would need to be retested to resolve this correction, which has been a 30% correction? We'd have to retest that pattern and get confirmation. So 94K, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm glad it did not collapse, but I think it will take time. You know, it's talking about like this thing to unfold over the next 10 months, not 10 days or even 10 weeks. That's the deal with Bitcoin. The others, you know, you're getting pop and roll, and that's it. I mean, we can go to total 3, I guess. You take out Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's everything else. It's a lot like Solana's chart. Deep crab up here, not able to break out to all-time new highs. And this is the total 3, where you're here at like roughly 847 billion, now 894. But look, we're not anywhere. This is important too, okay? Whenever I'm looking at a turnaround in price action, if I'm looking for it to go up, I can't really expect acceleration until we're above the 50 there. And so this is just happening literally this week. So let it do its thing. I mean, at least it's stabilizing at target 1, but I just think the longer term failures are problematic, and it could easily roll over where the continuation of like the monthly signals you're going to give it further trouble. Here's others, and what is it? It's a type 2. Okay, we got oversold, but we would need a retest. We'd need a dot. All of that's lower. You know, check it out. Beautiful pattern, but it's a type 2. Where's the confirmation? Trying to happen now. I think it's a deeper retest at a minimum. At a minimum. What's up, William? HPC to 3 million. You know what? But when? And what does it go to first? I mean, I hear you. And you know, I'm listening to all these rich guys, all these billionaires that can still parachute out with 100 million if a black swan event happens. You don't think Saylor's got 100 million stashed somewhere where no matter what, he can say everything and anything he wants? But he's got that 100 million stashed in case the whole thing collapses. But if it was 3 million, how does it get there? And what's first? 3 million or 76,000? At what price? Buy it at 95,000 and it goes to 76,000. Okay, you're not a happy camper. And that's the retrace scenario that I really think we're just embracing. Embrace the retrace. And there's the monthly chart where the failed right shoulder here is just, that's not what was supposed to happen, guys. We were supposed to go price discovery on the others index. This is all the others, all the garbage crypto. And are we going to maintain this trend line, or are we breaking it down? I mean, it should have continued. Here is a better way to look at it. Look, if others, which is, you know, a fair assessment of the population of crypto. Okay, we should be holding this trend channel. We should have made at least a progress up all-time new highs or a secondary 886 retest. We got rejected, a higher high or lower high than even the one in February. Okay, these are all early signs. And then, as I said last time, things like Solana for me, which, a lot of people talk fondly of Solana and, think, hey, this is a place to be. It's going to 2,000, 3,000, what have you. Not until we at least hit target 2, 106, still 142. Okay, so today's like a one day little blip, but don't put a lot into this yet. You would need a retest, more consolidate, a couple more weeks of this. And I think it's 106, target 2. Hold me to it. A couple others. One or two. We don't need to spend all day here. Things that I've talked about Binance Coin. I didn't look at Ethereum, and I'm not. Again, I don't need to spend too much time on this. Okay, Ethereum down here, 3,300. What is it? Wasn't there a bat here? Non-confirmation bat. Yeah. Okay. I mean, no confirmation here, so I just assume reaction. If we tag target 1, so be it. I still think come back. You got the prior pattern, a lot like Bitcoin. That's around 2,100. Retest the patterns and then go. So no, I'm not chasing anything. I'm not putting any new money to work in crypto. Period. I mean, I'm focused on the stocks. I'm focused on the semis and the gold and the silver. Power plays. Big tech. I don't have to guess if that's going to do an 886 retrace or not. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are not. Yeah, that's a great point. What's up, Claire? How are you, Claire? Yeah, I agree with you. Most of the alts that you knew and loved last cycle are at all-time new lows. Cardano, it's going back on a 3-day. What's up, Hooji? He's saying, let's look at Cardano. I really don't. You're down here, some patterns, but guys, it's just, what can we say about the last year, 2 years? It's up and all the way back down. Zero progress. And even if this thing popped, I would assume something like, maybe it's something like this, and then back down and down again. I mean, that's the trend. That's what's happening here. And very little progress. I mean, the fact that you're back at the lows from 2022, that's not going to get it done. I mean, you're here with a few things, but the weekly is like this. You're down here, you're right back at these lows, and I would say it's probably you don't stop this until you hit 30 cents. But I wouldn't be involved with this anyway. Yeah. Link. Yeah, and then we can wrap it up with a couple of stocks. What's going on, guys? Let me know what you want to look at before we get out of here. I agree with you, Justin. Yeah, Ethereum is like, we'll get to 2,100, and then we'll see. William wanted to look at Bitcoin dominance, so I'll look at Bitcoin dominance, I'll look at Link, and then I'll wrap up on some of these stocks. But Bitcoin dominance, guys, is like this. I don't think it matters. It's kind of, we've always said that this cycle is a Bitcoin cycle for adoption, ETF, kind of asset allocation that Bitcoin had to run if the sector was going to run. And then look, the dominance that was back in June, that topped out all of that at like 65-ish, 65%. So yeah. And then we have another, I guess, weekly overbought. So, in terms of dominance, looks like it's trying to roll over, but we don't see other crypto taking the slack. You don't see Ethereum trending in strength here. So it's more like what's going to be the lesser of the two losers. And Ethereum for me is probably still going. It's in a downtrend. Still needs to retest that 2K. Bitcoin sheer price lower. Bitcoin dominance might be rolling over down here, but I'd be more focused on gold and silver for store of value plays over Bitcoin. Despite what everyone else is saying, let this do the retrace and be done. Monthly time frame, kind of like that. Bitcoin dominance down there at the lows, really until that turned around. So, I'm just, in terms of the dominance, just simply that Bitcoin's holding up for now is okay. The rest of it, not so much. Chainlink, here we go. Another one that really disappointed. Really thought this was going to happen. That we had this bat pattern. And this was from August. We're like, okay, respect the 2454. Let's look for a target one dot situation. And then once that confirms, we'll get a return move that finally sends it. What happened? Totally failed. It completely failed. It completely failed, and I would say it failed there at around 16. Currently 14. There's not a heck of a lot here until you're back retesting 10 or $9. It's a shame. It's a real shame, but it exemplifies what's been happening, even in the crypto that people probably revere the most. So you're back, retest 1069. Even though this bad wick did it, you're going to need confirmation down there. And also, how did we do? From the March low, okay, more than a double, and then all the way back down. That's not sustainability. That's not a sustained trend. If you're long link or looking to get long link and you buy it down here, maybe you get a return move back to the bat. But that's about it. We're not going to be in a trending situation with something like this. With this kind of price action, how can you have confidence that we are trending? Especially since we've made lower highs on the weekly. This is the other thing about Link that is now, you have to accept facts that the July peak failed, rolled over all the way back down here. There's a weekly dot trying to come in, needs to be retested. But the bigger pattern at 930, yeah. And you could spend a whole year, guys, in this zone trying to resolve it before you were to break out again. I mean, your next opportunity doesn't come until you at least challenge the uptrend. And so this is still down. I mean, that's probably the most disappointing of all of them. It looked like it was going to happen. Not a chance. Not a chance. I mean, again, we can monitor them. Just not really happening. And then we look at stuff like Coinbase. I still say it'd be looking for this. Let it do its bounce here. But I think Coinbase is just begging for target 2 at some point 2026. what's going to end up happening, we're going to see this pattern here on the weekly, and that's what it is. It's a perfect type 2, type 1, all the way down, hit target 2, come back. There's your confirmation. Working our way down. Working our way down a lot like we did last cycle. Okay, had a little intermediate dot, then the full flush. I think that's 150. So you see it in those, you see it in others. The miners, not a lot to go on. Go with the trenders. I agree with that. I guess. Let's go to a couple more stocks and get out of here. Fiverr, FIVR, correct. Has that come out of the zone? Hold on. I think that had a big pattern. Hold on. Fiverr. FVRR. Did that move? Off NASDAQ? All right, here you go. Fiverr International. I admire you for the idea. I think harmonic pattern, within the harmonic pattern framework, yeah, look at this massive bat pattern retesting, but it doesn't go anywhere. These are where the numbers were. I mean, there, but that's about it. Again, where the pattern completes, what's the context of the pattern, critical. I think that's really important. Great structures. I know, thinking that something's this beat up. What is this, 90%? Yeah, 90% discount off the all-time high. And you do have a dot there. I just can't expect much on this especially until we get above the 50 here. That's the way to filter it, guys. That's my best advice. Work with the software, line up the pattern and the dot, but you still need to see that go above the 50 before you can really have conviction that price is ready to accelerate. This sideways to whatever. Sideways grind. And those are big patterns. But realistically, maybe we get a target 1 or target 2 at most. A couple more. DDD, 3D Systems, right? I think I remember that. 3D Systems. Another one, low floater. I hear it, okay? And intuitively, especially with these kind of patterns, your brain, kind of looks at this as like, some real tasty chart centerfold material, but it's not. Because the trend is down. Yes, there's a pattern here, whatever. Hop levels 109, but we're not making progress on any of this. And you can be in there for a long time. Look, the weekly is still pointing lower. Maybe the easiest way is, okay, here's your weekly amplified. Is it above or below 50? It's below. What direction is it headed? It's still going lower. Right, so I need that to turn around in a major way before I would even think that the patterns have something there. And this is a big point, guys. Confirmation at a pattern is what makes it a true opportunity. And if you don't have confirmation and you're not within a good contextual position of the trend, your ability to really do something to move out of that zone is muted. What's up, Labor Dash? What's that one? MYO. MYO? No, I don't know what that is. MYO? Miomo. Aye. Miomo. I never saw this one. Here we go. Another. Look, these are beautiful patterns. You could look at that and say, wow, all right, what was this all the way at the, oh my goodness, it was All right, with all the splits and everything, ridiculous amount. But you're just scraping a dollar and you're not trending. Okay. I just, maybe it's a spec play. Maybe you can bounce off of this 92 cent to 129 area, but it's a low probability play. And that's a weekly chart. Monthlies like that. Yeah, again, not trending, guys. I know it's, intuitively they might seem like home run plays, but they're not. They're harmonic duds, as we like to call them. So, I mean, hey, if this thing was able to put in a higher low on the daily, which it hasn't, look, lower low, lower low, lower low. It's just bounce roll over. It's the crypto pattern. Got it. Can you get into silver now? Sure. You can fat finger long silver and gold. It will, expect it to bounce around, but look, SLV is probably not cracking 50 anytime soon, and I'm looking for 70. But yeah, I mean, that stuff's moving, and we are in the seasonal time for gold and silver. We did Soundhound Fora. Check that out. Mr. ENGR wants to look at MicroStrategy, and again, I'm thinking this is just continuing lower. Had a little bounce today, but it's like this for me, guys. I traced this out. This has got full 886 reset written all over it. MicroStrategy, $75 for this down move. And that really became apparent ever since the breakdown of the B point at 230. So a little bit of weekly oversold at the moment. Trying to bounce, but I would look for a full reset. Hold me to it. But that's pretty much it. 886 reset. And then you can reassess. I'm telling you, Bitcoin is going to show us in the next couple of weeks. And it's probably really going to be obvious come January. So a nominal little holiday bounce now, okay, not a biggie. But these larger formations, it's still just dragging lower. And the crazy thing about what happened with MicroStrategy was that we knew the 1618 up here all time. I mean, ridiculous. It was like that. Exactly, 1618 there. And if it was just going to be a nominal retrace, we would have held 382. But ever since we broke that 382 and destroyed it, even that, off the all-time move, still points as full 886. I missed the MicroStrategy run, no doubt. So maybe I'm a little salty on that, but we're on the back slope here. So 190 is just a number, 192. Talk to me at 75. Again, much better situations to be looking at. Semiconductors top on that list. A couple others. Joby. Yeah, Joby's another speculative one where it's kind of like the quantum stocks. Making progress. I think that's making progress. Monthly trending. Dailies like this. We were oversold with the type 2 bat pattern. It's a shame we didn't get a dot. But there you go. At least, all right, this thing has made a lot of progress. And then what did it do? It printed a bullish pattern on the retrace. Okay, perfect type 2. That's the kind of thing at a higher level when you see it, all right, you respect what it's showing you. That's a signpost of future price action. And a lot like Joby here in April with the bat, here's another bat that says, okay, 1353, continuation area. start looking now. But that's one of the ones of, kind of these concept stocks that broke out this year. There's the weekly on Joby with a really nice dot. And what you're looking for, probably next year, this thing to go full 1618. Joby to do something like this longer term. X, A, B, C, D, B point at a 618. Get me a 1618. That's like 25 and change. You're down here at 15, maybe 13.50. Looking in there for that move. It's a good idea. I mean, again, I want bigger names, but you want to speculate. This is a good one to speculate on. It's made progress. A couple others. CLOV, Clover Health. Is that what that is? CLOV. Clover Health. Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying. Check this out. Here is something that I would consider. Why? Well, we had the whole capitulation sideways, kind of a first thrust. Here's the secondary low at a higher level, and that's at 260. We're not back at the all-time lows at like 65, 70 cents. This might actually be the better preferred setup, because if it's really going to move, we had the first thrust, retrace, oversold continuation from here at like 260, where you are now. What's the daily look like? 4 hour, okay. 4 hour or daily within that same area. Look, 212-ish is a type 2 crab. Get that to be kind of the retest to get it going on the weekly chart. And there's the daily. I like this. I like it. Now, it has to hold this 212 area. So, and I still say it's early in the process, but this is one that could get that secondary wave. Kind of reminds me of like quantum stocks from earlier in the year. But down in here, 212, maybe 185-ish, you're somewhere in here. I don't think it's ready yet because you have an HSI that has to come in, but look for it like that into the end of the year. This could be one of those tax loss candidates. They sell it out into the last week of the year, and then we start ripping January. It's a good idea. Few more. You got on Clover, sure. What's up, Floyd? I think the Sound Hound kind of won. That's more of what we want to look for. Yeah. Clover is an AI health company. Good play. Okay. Thanks, Pat. I appreciate it. Listen, if you know have a fundamental understanding of what the company does, maybe what the street's thinking, that's great. But I still want definitive price level confirmation and signals like this. I explained from a harmonic framework perspective why I think it's a good idea. Higher lows, some patterns, some oversold confirmation. All right. Fundamental information like being AI healthcare, that's great. Maybe this is a turnaround play. But I'd be looking at it. It's different than some of those other ones that I showed you that are just sitting at all-time lows. Yeah. Couple more. Let's give away one more 30-day package, guys, because I'm going to wrap it up on Thursday. HPC 30 will get you the 30-day trial to the software. Everyone else, again, get the Black Friday deal. Right now, HPC 30 is the code for 30% off. If you get the trial, okay, you can get the code until your trial expires, but all of that's done by the end of the month. And next week we will switch off we will no longer offer the 30% as a new thing. Okay. Couple more. Yeah, we can look at those. You got it. Yeah, Susanako, just DM me on that Discord link there as well. HPC 30 gets it. Okay, one or two more. Corning, GLW. Haven't looked at that in a while. Wow, look at that. I haven't looked at that in a while. I had no idea it's done that this year. Amazing. Corning at 90. There you go. This reminds me of the .com when it did that crazy one all the way back. What was that at the all-time high? 112, and then it went all the way back down, 175. You're back at 90. That's amazing. You look at this up at 100. Yeah, I'll get to you after that. Okay, Susanako. I'll get to you after the show. 886 on Corning. That's at like 105. That's amazing. What about the other one, FCX, Freeport McMoran? Making progress back up. I mean, doesn't seem like it's doing a hell of a lot, but it's getting there. I mean, it's in an uptrend. Dividend yield, yeah, 1.3%, but that's more playing that for the cycle, for the commodity cycle that is happening now. Floyd, what's up? JD.com, that is. Yeah, there it is. JD is that bat. All right, back at XA level on the monthly. What's a weekly? There you go. Yeah, I think we talked about this, looking for the retest back to 30. We had some confirmation like at 30, 31, 50. Yeah, this one's, I do like this. You got back-to-back patterns here. 29, 20 is the absolute XA level. I think Baba and Baidu are better. Baba is building. I think this is pretty significant. The weekly is a shark to 50, so maybe back to 125, but really the monthly is what's intact here. So watch that on Baba. We're at target 1. Can't get through it, so I'm still waiting on Baba. I would think maybe a weekly or daily oversold. Yeah, like here. Maybe it's 150. It's definitely lower, but we're going to get another opportunity. I would look at Baba like this. How many dots have been ideal entries since the low? There was the first dot, second dot, third dot, probably even better. We'll get a fourth one. It's probably in like a week or two. But that's got recovery written all over it. I mean, and because you have development there as well. That's a bit better than a lot of these others. What was the other one? Oh yeah. William Walker, what's up? I forgot about it. You win the code with HPC 30. William, you got to send me your TradingView username, your full name and email address. I'll give away a couple more on Thursday, guys. That'll be our last promo day. Anyway, so Baba over JD for sure. One or two more. Yeah, with all the fiber optics, Greg's saying. I hear that. Corning is, you know what? I didn't look at that for a long time. And it's always been one of those. It was huge in the .com move. Fossil, another clothing. It's like Urban Outfitters. What's this look like? All right, not bad. Pretty interesting. All right, this is okay. This is a little better. And why do I say, something that's as beat up as this is? Why is it better? Well, there's the initial low confirmation. This is a weekly chart too. That's 2024. secondary, higher, tertiary, a fourth weekly signal sending it back up. So that's how I differentiate stocks that are crushed versus things that have a chance. Like here's one that doesn't have a chance in hell. But fossil, maybe just in the last 4 months, certainly in the last year, with that signal and a secondary signal, but probably the first time I would consider this having real possibility of getting back up and going again. But you look at it all time, look at that monthly. It's a monthly all-time bat. That's amazing. Monthly all-time bat. All of that, your yellow, your green line there on the monthly is more like 378. Let's look at that into the end of the year. It still has, you still got to prove it. And you might be doing a lot of work down here, but I feel better about this because you've got at least 18 months of a basing, grinding higher dynamic going on. I do like Urban Outfitters, and I like Abercrombie and Fitch, A&F. This did a crazy move, and here we go. So there's Abercrombie and Fitch. That was just September. No, sorry, November we were 65. Now we're 100. That's crazy. Some of these retail are interesting. That's very interesting. What about Gap? Gap, GPS, or Macy's? Oh, that's not Gap. Where's Gap? The Gap, GAP. Used to be GPS. All right. Not bad. I mean, it's okay. At least it's not at the lows. Yeah, not so much. There's the monthly. Almost a perfect type too. Yeah, I mean, Gap, not so much. Fossil, that's interesting. Urban Outfitters, love it. Go to 100. Macy's is the other one. This is a big one. Up off the lows at 10 recently to 20. And yeah, we had a couple of patterns. Look at this. So here's Macy's. Probably just like a one-off. Let it come back down. I think we come back one more time. And again, this thing's been beat up. But look at the dots. Do we have anything that's higher? Like there's the capitulation low, secondary low, tertiary low. All right, up, come back down. Give me another dot on the retrace. And then maybe we get some serious development early next year. If you want to look at these kind of bottom dwellers, that's the way to do it. I'm preferring to look at trending, clear trending channels weekly. Listen, Costco is something that I'm watching closely, okay? And this has been on a heck of a run from 2023. There's a weekly oversold signal. You look at what's going on amplified. Hasn't turned around at all on our weekly amplified. So I would still say lower. But I'm watching it because Costco on a retrace like this has got potential. Daily time frames like this. Where'd it go? Thought I had a crab here. Not yet. Not yet. I'm watching it, okay? Costco's still trending lower. But this is another one I want to look at on a retrace. Yeah, did that. What about PayPal? PayPal like this. I think that's another one that's just still kind of swimming down at that base. Yeah, we're at 60 bucks. This is more about the weekly. Yeah, because you're not. Look, we never busted above that bat and we came right back down. So you're all the way back down at lows for the move. Retest like 57. This should have. It's amazing. I mean, look at the all-time history for PayPal. Amazing. I would say even you're just here doing an 886 reset. You know, there's the IPO or the relaunch in 16, all the way out. And then look what happens. Look, this is a great example. Look, you get a massive retrace, okay, and it just eviscerates the 382. Chances are you're on a full 618 minimum. Kind of reminds me of Bitcoin. This one, 886, is there at 62. You're sitting right at the all-time 886. But I wouldn't look at that until early next year. Still down. There's other ones, that I like. I like Dell. Okay. Massive progress since they relaunched this. Can we get oversold? Like down here. And that's around 125 or 137. I think after we did a type 1, type 2 off the crab, we come back and retest this probably early next year. But the daily time frame for Dell looks really good. I mean, it was a type 2 off of that crab back in April. That's what we're looking for. I mean, again, we don't need to get too crazy about it, too overcomplicated. There's Cisco, overextended, but that's ready to go higher. It's those kind of names. I want to stay with those kind of names. I mean, there's others. I think some of the smaller silver and mining plays, I want to save them for maybe next Tuesday and do a deep dive because we want to speculate in that area. Now is the time. Hold on. I do. All right, so here's another concept trend. Okay? This is definitely happening. 33 bucks XA. Another concept trend. Okay? This is definitely happening. 33 bucks XA Gartley is perfect, and that's where I'd be looking for this kind of continuation. Minimum go up for target 1 at 47.86. All right, a little late at the moment. I'd watch it. Can we get another retrace or something? But that's a perfect pattern within an uptrend, retesting, retracing the channel, ready to go again. That's HIMS. HIMS. And that thing was flying earlier this year. Had a couple of moves. Boy, other ones, Intuit. We did Spotify. No, I think it might be Netflix. Netflix went 10 for 1 and has sold off since, which is, okay, yeah. So check this out. Netflix getting crushed. What's going on here? You're at the bottom of the line. There's no confirmation. There is a shark pattern, but look, what happened on that shark? We got overbought real quickly. No confirmation. I'm waiting on it. You're oversold now on Netflix. This is probably another tax loss candidate. They'll sell it down into the end of the year. But I'd be looking, we're getting oversold on the weekly. Still early. Let it come in. Yeah, the stock's down. I mean, it's one of the biggest corrections in years. Rivian at 17. Again, another one with these higher lows. And this is where I can really maybe start to look at it. And Rivian has a long way to go. I think it's a good idea. It's just structurally and at what price do I want to jump on this thing? Maybe it's back to 15. Yeah, not there yet. One or two more of that list. We did BBAI, I thought. Um, what about LAES? That's a quantum play. That's a lower market cap, low volume. I still like this though. I really like this a lot. So yeah, it's just gonna need more time. Dailies like this. Yeah, a little oversold at the moment. Would be great if we got the type 2, but I like what's going on here. I mean, look, higher lows, higher low, higher low. Try to put in another higher low up here. This is Seals SQ, Seal SQ. They're quantum security. There's going to be individual plays like this but at the right price. Couple more. I'll show you another one that's not trending. Lululemon. Great idea to be running pretty clear. Like Lam Research here, guys. This thing's a monster. Semiconductor. Daily. Every dot has been a monster continuation. It's 200 billion. Why just go to 500 and just continue that trend higher? That's what we're looking for across the board, guys. Uh, yeah, rum. Yeah, rum's okay. Rum's setting up. I think it's holding 7 well. That's been our number for a while. Greg, yeah, Cantor Equity though. CEP is like Circle and all those other ones. They're doing the retest and never gave us confirmation. I mean, CEP here. Why is that CEPO now? I don't know why that's CEP. I thought that was CEP. Maybe they changed it. Yeah, that or Circle. Let's just look at the trends. Like Circle here. You know, big 886 reset. You know, that was 290. Amazing, almost 300. Well, you went to 65 pretty quickly. And now you have a crab pattern, but you know, probably 76 is need to see more from that before I jump on it. Yeah. Been really clear, guys. I mean, the things that are working, a lot of those semiconductors that I've showed you, uh, things like Broadcom. I mean, that's just continuing higher. I mean, that's another one. Just stay with this. Target that's like 430. And again, they're all indicative of these kind of continuing uptrends. Established trends, buy them on the retrace, ride it to the channel overbought level. And anything beyond that, you know, the other one that I caught my eye that I think could be setting up where, you know, we've seen things like Apple explode and Oracle. I think Amazon, once we come back and retest this 214, look, there's patterns here. There's actually a few patterns on the daily chart. And so I'm liking Amazon. Hopefully we get a retest down here. It's 207-ish, maybe 214, and then look for that to be the continuation, take it up to like 300 into next year. That's where we're going on these. You know, these are just going to continue to go higher. Amazing. Amazon, Meta, Google, Microsoft. I mean, just stay with them all. Yeah. It's a new CEP is a new listing as of this morning. Okay. I'm not a fan of it. I'm really not. XXI, I don't know what that is either. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? That's the problem with these stock offerings. Okay, these guys are just, you know, they recombine, they relaunch. To me, it's like a big wash. So I don't know why they split that. I think there's better opportunities with a lot of the well-known names that I've been talking about. Arista Networks. This is another one where we're oversold. Daily Dot. Start looking. 123. You guys get the picture. Clear, established uptrends for the things that are going to take us into the end of the year and into 2026. Anything that needs work, needs time, it's going to probably take a lot of time. So stay with those runners. Listen, all the winners from today, you got to connect with me on the Discord. Everyone else, get with the Black Friday special. Thursday is going to probably be the last day. HPC 30 gets it done. 30% off, and then the deal is over. Any other questions, DM me in the Discord, and then get set up, especially new folks. We've had a steady stream of new folks. Welcome. Let me just direct you. Become a basic member. Simply input the email address and then review all the materials. Get your feet wet with the software. You can try all the platforms. Download the books and then look at the videos. Okay, there's videos in here. You will be sent other videos and take at least a few days to get with understanding the basic foundation. Beyond that, follow what we do here Tuesday, Thursday, and then you will be well on your way within Harmonic Learning Curve. Okay, that's all free. Do not respond to anyone soliciting in my name or anything Harmonic Pattern. We are the only Harmonic Pattern outfit out there. So I started this 30 years ago. I'll finish it. There's NASDAQ right now. 5-minute time frame. I guess by Thursday we'll be looking for the 843 retest. That's probably not that much. Beyond that, guys, let's get ready for a little Santa Claus action. Another week or so. We should drift higher. But I'm focused on 2026 and the big winners to come. All right? Any other questions? Get with me on Discord. We'll be back here on Thursday, guys. 12:30-ish. Until then, have a great one. As always, go get them.